Welcome back and welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories viewed here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native American news sources. Ward Churchill, the colorful member of the Confederated chapters of the American Indian Movement, once claimed that in filing a lawsuit against the University of Boulder for firing him, he might end up owning the campus. Well, failing to protect Ward Churchill's free speech will cost the University of Colorado at least $1. The former ethic studies professor won his civil case against CU last week after a unanimous jury found he was fired in retaliation for his controversial essay about the September 11, 2001 attacks. But the jury awarded Churchill only the paltry amount in damages, allowing both sides to claim some measure of victory in a 4-year battle, pitting free speech and tenure against the value of academic purity. Churchill's attorney, David Lane, lauded the jury's decision as a victory for free speech. "We work cheap," he said. Still, the legal bill, if assessed to the Colorado University, is likely to be well into 7 figures. Churchill now says all he's looking forward to is his reinstatement as a tenured professor. Associate Attorney General Thomas Pirelli announced today that more than $248 million is available for tribes to assist with addressing the Indian country's criminal justice needs. These funds are part of a $4 billion in American Recovery and Reinvestment Recovery Act funds managed by the Justice Department to assist tribal, state, and local law enforcement prevent crime and improve the criminal and juvenile systems in the United States while supporting the creation of jobs. Of the $248 million in the Recovery Act funding available for tribes, $225 million is available for correctional facilities on tribal lands grants, $20.8 million for Indian tribal government grants, and $2.8 million for tribal domestic violence and sexual assault coalitions grants. In addition to those funds, tribes are also eligible to apply for several Department of Justice Recovery Act competitive grant programs that are available to states, local governments, and other entities depending upon the eligibility requirements in the solicitations. Some members of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe in Minnesota are staging a peaceful protest on April 7th in the frontage road by the government center. Some elders of the Mille Lacs Band are asking for Ray J. Bronco, the Solicitor General for the Mille Lacs Band, to remove from office. According to Colleen White and the Alliance Group newsletter, they want him to be removed because of his disregard for band statutes. According to the newsletter, Ray J. said that traditional law has outlived its usefulness, which some members have perceived as a direct attack on the elders of the tribe and the traditional laws of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Twin girls who were born conjoined at the chest are doing well 10 weeks after successful surgery that separated them. Pediatric surgeons at Children's Hospital in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma said recently. So far, the girls have exceeded expectations, said Dr. David Tuggle, the chief surgeon for the twins Presley Faith Wells and Kaylee Hope Wells. Their wounds are 90% healed and they're gaining weight. Their mother, 20-year-old Stevie Stewart of Calumet, Oklahoma, said Kaylee now weighs 15 pounds and Presley weighs 14 pounds. Presley and Kaylee had been joined at the chest since their birth on October 25th of last year. They were separated on January 19th during a 6-hour procedure. The process of separating the girls, believed to be the first known American Indian conjoined twins, involves splitting the girls' liver and tissue bridge that connected them. Doctors have said the twins have a good chance of survival because they have separate hearts and did not share major blood vessels. A federal appeals court in Atlanta, Georgia has confirmed the right of the Parch Band of Creek to operate its own water system in southern Alabama. The Freemanville Water System, a rural water authority that supplies parts of Escambia County, said the tribe's plans encroached on its territory, which it claimed was protected by provisions of a 1961 law that governed water authorities funded with federal loans. The tribe asserted that sovereign immunity shielded from the provisions of the law. In a late March opinion, a 3-judge panel of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found nothing to contradict that contention. The Parch Band of Creek Indians operate 3 electronic bingo halls in Alabama, including one in Escambia County. Over 600 attendees from around the globe gathered in Denver, Colorado, April 1st through the 4th to attend the 31st Annual International Association of Culinary Professionals Conference. Pioneering a Sustainable World was the theme for 2009. The prestigious Who's Who in the Food World event included master classes, educational seminars, section committee forums, and networking opportunities with authors, editors, chefs, suppliers, and other industry experts. In keeping with the organization's commitment to sustainability and food artisanship, the conference hosted numerous presenters from the natural and organic food industry. Among these guest speakers was Jim Stone, Executive Director of the Intertribal Bison Cooperative. The Intertribal Bison Cooperative was formed in 1990 to assist tribes in returning the buffalo to Indian country. ITBC endeavors to restore to tribal lands the bison in a manner that promotes cultural enhancement, spiritual revitalization, ecological restoration, and economic development. Today they serve 55 tribes in 18 states and have helped reestablish 52 herds that total over 15,000 bison. The Wind River Development Fund will focus on tourism and energy at this year's Wind River Business Conference in Riverton, Wyoming. The conference will be held at Central Wyoming College on April 7th and 8th and includes sessions entitled How to Create a Winning Tour Package, Developing Tourism Infrastructure, and Successes and Opportunities. The next day they will feature sessions titled Energy Environment in Wind River Country, Impacts and Assessment, and Energy Opportunities and Resources. The Wind River Development Fund provides loans and other support for small businesses on the Wind River Reservation, home to the Northern Arapaho and Eastern Shoshone tribes. A tribe in Minnesota says it is giving $1 million to the Flandreau Santee Sioux tribe in eastern South Dakota to build an independent living project for senior citizens. The money is from the Shakopee Mdewakanton Sioux community of Minnesota. In a release, the tribe says it helped with funding for the start of the project 2 years ago, and the Minnesota tribe says the project also will provide more and better jobs for tribal members for the Flandreau Santee Sioux tribe. I want to thank my technicians and host Kimberly Acosta for holding down the fort while I was gone. Also take a look in the Native News channel for a 10-minute update on Navajo Nation news by Navajo Times publisher Tom R. Wiesel. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today, Paul Demain. I want to thank you for joining with us again. Miigwech.